Right then, welcome back to part 3 of our Alpha Models 124 Ferrari F8 Tributo build. Now, our clear coat has been dried now for well over a week, so we're ready for our polishing process. So, we're using some 3N Trizic pads, and we're going to use some rotary polishing tools and some Menzerner compounds. Now, we've got 6 and 8000 Trizic pads, which we have at last started selling over on ProScale, so you can get these off us over at ProScale now. The ever elusive 8000 grit we have, and the 6000, which is all I tend to use nowadays. These are the most efficient sanding pads you will get. So we're going to work our way around the body, just being careful of the edges and raised areas. These are very efficient sanding sponges, and we're going to work our way around and take back all the top coat of clear, and that way we get rid of any dust, any contaminants that have landed in the clear. It will also take off the top layer and thin it out as well, so we'll lose that choice look quite a lot of people complain about with 2K, and when we polish it all up we'll get a much better finish. Now, I had a little bit of a revelation when looking into buying these, that you're not supposed to soak the sponge. See how I've got a little pot there with water in? Don't do that. Apparently you're supposed to mist the surface and sand it on, which I did on my following build, the Supra, and it works a lot better. You can feel the pads cutting more that way. So as a word of warning, don't soak them in water. Mist some spray on, it works a lot better. So basically what I've done going forward is filled a small spray bottle up with water and washing up liquid, shake it and spray that on and sand, and it works a lot better. So yeah, the more you know, the better. But for now, we're doing it this way with the saturated sponge. It still works just well. And we're going around all the body and just taking back that clear coat. We're going to work through the 6000 all the way through on all the body, spoiler and mirrors, and then work through the 8000 on the same process. Like I say, this will totally flat back all the clear. We then need to bring back the shine, which we'll be using the Zoom On rotary polishing sponges in my Proxon multi-tool drill with the Menzerner compounds. Now, again, we sell the Zoom On sponges over on ProScale. You can go over there and have a look. They are very reasonably priced, and these are a game changer. I avoided them for many years, but now I'm using them with prop compounds. They work well. So we've got the Menzerner medium cut, 2,500, and the green this is the harshest abrasive pad. There's a Zoom On set. So the green is the coarsest polishing sponge in there. We're just going to lightly work our way around. We've got the Proxon on the lowest setting, which is about 5,000 RPM. And we're going to put on a little bit too much polish on the body. I've overestimated it here. And we're going to rub it on with our finger. That way we get a lot less of it spraying off the tool. So we're just going to rub it in until we've got nice equal. And I tend to work on the roof, the boot and the bonnet first, and then each side, and then the bottom, front, well, the front and rear separately is the way I go. So I sped this up for a bit of time, but what I tend to do is a couple of passes over each part. Now be careful of any edges because it's easy to burn through, and also be careful that the non-sponge part of the tool catches it, because it will take your paint off. It's a hard plastic part of the tool. I've actually put some black electrical tape around mine, which does minimize the damage. But we're just going to work our way around. We're not applying a huge amount of pressure. We're just applying enough pressure to compress the sponge, and that is more than adequate to get it to polish. Now, this is much faster than hand polishing. It probably cuts the time by a third. It used to take me 3 hours polishing the car. It doesn't even take me an hour now. It is so much quicker this way. It's much more efficient, and it allows the cutting compounds to work way better than doing it by hand. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing it by hand by all means, but for me this has been a game changer and a definite improvement to doing it. So like I said, I tend to do a couple of passes on each part. I sand round, well, I polish around and come back the opposing way, and then move on to the next area until we're happy. Once we're happy that area's been done, we'll get the cloth out and give it a polish up to see what kind of a shine we got. This is foot operated as well, this Proxon, which makes life a lot easier. I have a foot pedal under the bench with a nice piece of microfiber cloth we can wipe off everywhere, and even off the coarse compound sponge and Menzerner medium cut, we've got a fantastic shine back on the body already. It looks $1 million already, and it's just going to improve with each and every step. So the next one is the blue, which is the medium coarse sponge, and this is the 3500 Menzerner finishing compound as well. So this is a softer sponge, so this will compress a lot easier. So again, it needs less pressure, and we'll do exactly the same going over all the body with this. And again, we'll wipe it off with a nice clean bit of microfiber cloth. And with each pass, each stage, you'll see it getting shinier and shinier. But just take your time. Be careful of the edges, corners. The clear coat's always thinner. I am yet to burn through. Touch wood. I am yet to burn through. But it will happen if you're not careful, so take your time. And then the final stage is Autoglym Super Resin Polish. Just the standard stuff we use on our cars. I'm sure most of us are users. It's an industry standard polish. And this is the finest compound sponge in the Zoom On set. Ultra soft, so it doesn't need a lot of pressure at all. And this is a very mild polish now. So this is just going to give us our final finish. And this thing shines like a diamond when it's done. Quite hard to see on the Grigio Silverstone paint. But trust me, it looks absolutely fantastic when done. Like I say, just a case of going around carefully. Just be careful of the edges. Be careful of those struts on the engine bay. They are very, very delicate. So just take your time around there. And just work your way around. And trust me, I know a lot of people say they don't polish. It is a world of difference sanding it back and polishing it. It's a little bit more work and it's stuff you need to be careful of, but it is well worth doing. It gives a much better finish. Not only getting imperfections out or flaws, but also by thinning the 2K a touch and making it look a lot less toy-like. As you can see there, we've got a beautiful, beautiful deep gloss finish. It's looking absolutely fantastic. So I'll carry on and do the rest of the body until we're all done, including the spoiler and the mirrors. And then to get rid of any excess polish at the end, we're in the spray booth with a cheap Fenger airbrush with water in. And make sure it is water, don't pick up lacquer thinner by accident. And we're going to use it as a jet wash. And we're going to jet wash all the panel lines, all the recesses with water. And that will remove any residue behind, because it can be tricky to get out. I have an old toothbrush there as well for any stubborn areas. And we'll just work our way around until we've jet washed every panel line out. It's a very efficient way of doing it, nice and quick. And then we can use just the air part of it, just to blast off all the excess water, which makes life easier to dry. And we'll dry off the rest with some kitchen paper. So there's all our polishing done. Made it look nice and easy there. This will be covered more in a Subaru Techniques video, which I need to get back to soon. I'll cover this a lot more in depth. Now the next stage, another stage a lot of people hate, we need to mask off and paint around the windows. So because we've got the acetate windows gone on the outside, if you don't spray black paint, you can see the body colour showing through. Lesson I learned a long time ago to always black them out. Now you could do this before 2K. I prefer to do it after because it would be a flat or matte surface, or satin at most. So I do this after the polishing process. As you can see, with some mixture of Tamiya thin tapes, normal 6 and 18mm Tamiya tape, and some cling film, saran wrap, sandwich wrap, whatever you call it, we can infill the rest. Just make sure the tape's all fully burnished down, because you don't want any bleed through. I'm a little bit out of camera shot, I do apologise. And then we take it over to the spray booth and get some black paint down. All we're going to do is use Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, and that will be more than enough for the primer. But as you can see, using the cling film saves a lot of masking tape. So nice and simple and easy to do. Like I say, it does save a lot of masking tape being wasted. In the booth, we've got our Mist Surfacer, our water airbrush again, and it's HPCH again. I'm just going to put a couple of light coats down, getting all those nooks and crannies. So we want to get the exterior part, like we're doing here, and we also want to get the inside bit of every section as well. Because you look through the side of the glass, you'll see through. We're going to paint black inside later on. That will get us our inside black for the interior. But for now, just concentrating on the window surrounds to get it nice and dark. This Surfacer 1500 is perfect for this. And there we go. Inside, we've painted black on the main interior bit with the airbrush while we're doing the window rubbers. I don't normally do that, but I managed to do it today. And we're going to do the wheel arches with some model colour black and a nice flat paintbrush. Don't worry if you get any excess on the bodywork, it will wipe straight off. It's a water-based paint over 2K, so it's not going to harm it at all. So nice and easy, nice and simple. And then we can start work our interior. So there's lots of bits to this interior. I am not going to show every single step of the way because we would be here all day. So we've got center console, we've got our seats, there's a window in behind the engine bay as well. So we're going to secure the seats in with some Bob Smith CA glue. So really nice seats these as well. They look more like a comfort seat than a sport seat. But I certainly wouldn't complain sitting in this, would you? I'd be quite happy sitting in this car if I could get in it. We've got the dashboard halves glued together. We've got some carbon decals on there as well. And we've got our steering column going in place. So that is glued in as well. And then the steering wheel with the paddle shifter we did earlier on. That was also photo etched that we carbon fibered with the kit decals. And then we've got our floor mats, which we used texture paint on earlier. So a little dab of CA glue for each one. And then just pop them in place. Now the floor has been carpeted. My wonderful assistant Hannah has flocked it with Pro Scale flocking. But with the mats in, it does cover probably 90% of it. But hey, it's there. It's been done. We know it's been done. These floor mats look really good. I do like our texture paint. It is definitely one of my favourite new products. Just pop it in, press it in place, and leave it be. Word of warning, don't put this in a storage box or put this in the car yet, because that off-gas and CA glue will fog up any bodywork or any other parts that are together. Now, on the engine bay, there were some Jubilee clips, cable clamps to go on these intakes. To me, they're a bit overscale. They look too big. So what I did was use some silver wire, stripped it off, and wrapped it around, basically, nice and simple. On the engine cover itself, we've got some photo etch, so we're gluing that in place, and then building the engine up slowly. We can get the emblems on there too. The engine's actually quite nice. We're not going to see a huge amount of it, but this part is quite prominent, so it's quite a highly exposed area through the rear hatch. So once we've got this all painted up and the emblems on, we can CA glue those in place, and then we've got this little bit of acetate window. So a little bit of CA glue with our precision applicators there. We can pop on there as well. Don't forget, a lot of these products now you can go over on proscalepaints.uk. We are getting more and more stock in. We're stocking kits, tools, sundries, all sorts of stuff over there. Now go over and have a look. We've added over 200 items on the site in the last 2-3 weeks. Kits, everything over there. CA glues a lot. So go on over and have a look. So with the engine cover surrounding with the mirror, with the glass in, we can CA glue that in place. A little bit of kicker. We'll set that instantly in place. Like so, and then we can start test fitting things. So the dashboard's already been test fitted. I know that fits in place, so we can glue this in place. So a couple of dabs of glue on the top, and then we're going to pop a couple of dabs underneath where it can't be seen, and then we'll hit out some kicker again. The kicker instantly sets the CA glue, so it's great for parts like this where it takes a little bit longer to grab. It will instantly set it and get grip of the parts. And then the door cards. Now, word of warning, test fit everything. I've had everything in here to test fit it. I know everything fits in as I'm putting it in now. So the door cards are butted in place exactly where they need to go. A little dab of CA glue underneath. The reason I put a little bit in is if I need to get them out, I don't have to damage the part. So there's no other CA glue on that door card other than there at the bottom. It's sandwiched in between the dashboard, so that's going to hold it in place. This little bit of dab of CA glue at the bottom is more than adequate to hold this in place. Now, I did only intend to test fit this, but it went in and it fitted that well. It wouldn't come back out. So, yeah, it stayed in. Luckily, it was ready to go in, but I was just test fitting to see how it looked. And thankfully, it fitted perfectly and no bother. So, we're going to just add a little bit of glue in a sneaky area here, because it's just bouncing a little bit, pushing its way back out a little bit. So, I'm just going to glue it and then a little bit of pressure while I hit it with the kicker. Like so. That'll hold it in. And then on the front end and all down the back, we're going to apply some strategic points of CA glue. I didn't fancy drilling this one. There was just something about this body I didn't like the look of. I often drill and screw the under trays in, but I think sometimes CA glue is the answer. I think it's a little less intrusive than drilling the resin. Resin can be a little bit finicky, and I'm always frightened of either cracking the body or drilling right through. And just this, the points on this were a little bit thin in places. So I thought, you know what, I'll just add it that way. Rear diffuser, we've got several components going here. We've got a grill in the centre. We've got our 2-turned metal exhaust, which look fantastic. I've polished those up with some Meguiar's metal polish as well. I thought I got it on camera, but I must not have, so apologies. Literally some automotive metallic polish. So I use Meguiar's. You can use the well-known Anusol. I know it's not Anusol. I forgot its name now. What's it called? I forget what the metal polish is called now. Autosol, that's it, Autosol. Polish as well. Just any metal polish to polish it up. All that's all detailed up and put to one side. On the back end, on these very fragile little struts on the engine bay, there's some very fine grills. So I'm just using one of our precision CA applicators we sell. Just to apply a little bit of Bob Smith's very slightly. This is the finest one of the applicators. It will put the smallest amount in, and then with a little bit of Rodicoat, which is a very useful watchmaking tool. It's basically a sticky substance on a cocktail stick. It will hold the part. Then you put it in. If you twist it, it lets go. We can get everything in place. Don't need to grip it with tweezers and potentially damage it then. So we get that one to that side and repeat on the other. There we go. I've got to see how that engine's looking absolutely fantastic. Now, we've got the rear engine cover as well. Now, this is a different bit of acetate than normal. Had two little tabs at the bottom, which I've cut off. And there's actually slots in the back of the engine bay cover, which a real car has. So a really nice touch to the model. So I'm just going to apply some strategic points of Bob Smith's Gold, Super Gold Black. Again, it's a non-fogging CA glue, so it's perfect for clear parts. You don't need a massive amount, but you need a bit of patience in getting this in. So test fit it, which I've already done. Get your CA glue in place, and then I like to normally put a little bit of masking tape on it to hold it, but because this had no acetate clear on it at all, I opted just to stick it in place as is. So keeping my fingers off the clear part as much as possible, and then getting some pointed cocktail sticks, we can just hold each corner in. Now, the downside to the Bob Smith's Gold is it does take a while to set. It is foam safe, so it is haze free, but it does take a little bit longer to grab. So it's a case of just holding it and just giving it the time, or dropping everything as I've just done there. So I gave up on the cotton buds and just used my fingers in the end. So don't forget, there's no acetate on this, so don't get any glue on your fingers or you're going to ruin the part. It is a very nice engine cover. This is a real nice touch in the kit, and it's definitely a focal point. Rear spoiler, we've got some grills in the back. We've got our rear high-level brake light as well. And then some strategic points of CA glue again. A little bit of a blockage in my CA glue there. A little cocktail stick to poke a hole in. Works perfect. There we go. So we don't want a huge amount of CA glue. There we go. And you want to keep it away from the edge as well. We've got our rear lights in, as you can see as well. They've just been placed in at the correct angle and held in with a bit of Bob Smith's. We pushed in the insert as well. They just slid inside really easy. And then we're going to glue on our rear diffuser as well. Again, just some strategic places of CA glue. And we can off this up. Now, this doesn't fit the best. This was rocking a little bit, so I kind of have to fit a happy medium. Once I got it though, it fitted in place fine. Onto the brakes, we've got the center hubs, which have been painted on one side. We're going to fold over these points so we get the silver effect underneath, which is a real nice touch. Like so. So with Bob Smith's Gold and one of the precision tips that we sell now as well, these things are fantastic. Admittedly not cheap, but they are the finest applicators I've seen, and they work absolutely phenomenal for parts like this. Very sparing amount of super glue. We can get those in place, work our way around all four. and then we start getting the hubs. And now I've familiarised myself with all these. I know exactly which hub goes where. So don't glue these in place until you're 100% confident of where they go. It's normally dictated by the positioning, the angle, and where the brake disc, caliper sits. So have a look at the instructions. All the calipers are handed as well. So the rear ones have got the handbrake caliper at the top, as you can see there. That's been painted black. And I'd say the easiest way to do this is to get the hub on and then pop some glue in place like so. All around. I'm using the Bob Smiths because it gives us a bit more working time. And then pop the caliper on the disc because the caliper will fit quite snugly on there. FYI, this did have PE for the back of the disc and there was no way it was fitting on. Quite common with the Alpha model kits. Line it up and make sure you line up with the hub in the centre. If in doubt, pop one of the wheels on just to confirm that everything lines up. Front exactly the same. Get it in place. Get the caliper on the disc. Now where you cut the disc off the stub after painting it will leave a bare part. Put that inside the caliper and you won't see that. That's a nice little tip. Like I say, use a wheel to ensure everything's lined up, which it is. Perfect. Then we do all the other parts. Now, side windows fitted really well. The glass was really good on this car. It fitted really, really well. It varies from Alpha model to Alpha model. Some of them are a bit of a pig. Some of them going okay. This one is actually pretty decent, to be fair. And the same on the other side. And then exactly the same on the windscreen. Just very strategic point of CA glue. Pop the glass on, hold it, burnish it down until it grabs. Job done. So you go, all the glass is in place now. Now I left the other glass while the back one dried, just in case there's any super glue inside the car when we're doing the seats and that. I basically left it overnight to off gas. Mirrors, we've got the reflective self-adhesive parts that go in there. Then with a little tiny dab of our precision applicator of some Bob Smiths, we can pop them in place. And there we go. Both sides of those. Like that, there we go. And then the Ferrari emblem. Now be careful with these. When you push them on, don't push it fully home. Just push it in place lightly and then ensure you've got it where you want. Because if you don't press it down fully, you'll be able to get it back off. This sticks like the proverbial to a blanket. Once you're happy where it is, burnish it down with a cotton bud and very gently peel the backing tape off and it will leave the emblem on. These emblems are superb. The front ones have got an MSM Creation 3D bubble type, looking for the appropriate size. It's something I might potentially stock. I can't get them a trade, so they are not going to be the cheapest. But these are great for Lamborghinis, Ferraris and Porsches. The emblem is absolutely beautiful. They are actually 3D, so they look like real badges. Self-adhesive, really nice quality. I think I zoom in for a second to show you. There you go. These are really nice. Absolutely love using these. Perfect size. Just pop it in place and just very gently burnish it down. Make sure it's in the right position. And then just gently push it home. There we go. And then the Scuderia badges for the side as well. Very important part of the car. I love these on the side of the Ferraris. You get multiple scale badges in the set. I think the set from 1/18th, 1/24th and 1/12th. So you've got a multitude in it. Admittedly, you might get a few you won't use. But for the most part, you will use them because they come in varying size badges on all the different Ferraris. So one of those on each side as well. And then while I was at it, I thought, oh, I've got the wheel ones. Let's replace those decals with these. And these look a million times better, a lot better. It just adds depth. That's a 3D effect to it. And just looks a lot better. There we go. And then the final touch is the Ferrari logo on the engine cover. Again, don't commit to putting it in. Just place it on. And then have a look. Is it straight? Is it centered? Nothing looks worse than an off-centered badge. I've done it before and it looks terrible. So just take your time. Have a look. Get a second opinion if you need it. Have a fresh look. Once you're happy, burnish it down. And then remove the backing tape. Nice and easy. As you see, OCD, get the ruler out. Yeah, it's that side, that side. That side, that side. Perfect. That will do, mate. Look at that. Good eye, you see. Told you. Good eye. Burnish it down. And when you're doing letters like this, peel that tape up over on itself, not up. And take each letter by letter. Because if you go past the point of the tape lifting up, you can't put it down. because if you pull it up now and the letter comes with it, if you're careful, you can put the tape back down, burnish the letter more, and it'll be fine. You can see how sticky this stuff is. It's crazy. So just do one letter at a time. Like I say, if it sticks to the clear plastic, put it back on, burnish it down, and there we go. Absolutely beautiful. And then some grills. Plenty of grills all over the car. We've got the Rodico again. We've got some Bob Smith's gold in there. We're just very carefully placing them in. Like I say, if you place it and gently twist the Rodico, it will release. Like so. There you go. You've not had to touch it at all. You just give it a little poke where it needs to be. And what I did on some of the rear grills, like on the spoiler, because you can kind of see through it, I put some wash in there later on. Very satisfying part is removing the clear acetate off the windows. Again, pull them back against themselves. And then the resin window wipers. Now, it did come with photo etch, but the resin ones look fantastic. And it did have the correct angled arm for the left-hand wiper, which I'll be honest, looked a bit odd at first. But when I seen how it fitted in place, I was like, okay, I understand. So there we go. They're in place as well. And then finally, a polish up. Now, I've been experimenting with this for a while. This is a ceramic coating that is actually specially formulated for our 2K. So it's not a true ceramic coating, whereas like it's a resin, you wipe it on, let it haze, and then buff it off, and it's like chemically hardened. This is just like an in-between. So it's not a wax, it's not a full ceramic coating, but it's ceramic protectant, should we say. And I've been trying it for a while now. I think it is something we will release at Pro Scale. It works very well. It's a case of just wipe it all over the body, let it haze off for 5 minutes, and then buff it off. And it leaves an absolutely fantastic finish behind. It does seem very resilient. Different than a wax. It's not a wax. It does leave like a chemical finish behind. And look at that. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. By far one of the nicest looking cars I've built. Love the colour. Love the combination of the wheels and the calipers. That engine through the back engine bay looks absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Yes, very happy with this one. It has turned out really, really well. An older kit from Alpha Models, but went together relatively easy. Some nice carbon touches to it as well. Overall, very happy with the build. No real issues. Engine looks fantastic through the back. There's enough of it to look good, you know, without being over the top. Wheels on this car, absolutely stunning. They really are. And yeah, a very enjoyable build and a very happy result on this one. Definitely been enjoying these Alpha Models lately. Like I say, we've got a Mark IV Super next with a zoom on trans kit, and then the Lamborghini Urus from Alpha Models coming up too. And potentially start very soon, the Bandits Pontiac from Smoking the Bandit is another one on the way. Anyway, some pictures. Here's the finished model. Right, so I've got to remember what I did to this now, and I've completely forgotten. So I'm going to try and find my cheat sheet. So this was painted in Pro Scale grey primer after being prepped with Pro Scale's degreaser, rescribed and what have you, and keyed. We then painted it in Pro Scale Paint's Ferrari Grigio Silverstone. All the exterior trim was carbon decaled with the kit carbon, which was great. 2K cleared, came out amazing. It was given a black Tamiya panel line wash before. Wheels painted in Ferrari Grigio Corsa, another fantastic colour. The brake discs were Pro Scale carbon ceramic grey. Calipers were Pro Scale yellow caliper yellow. The interior was Napa black leather interior. Black flocking for the carpet. We used the textured paints on the PE car mats inside as well. They looked absolutely fantastic. We flattened the body back with the 3M 6 and 8000 tri-zip pads and polished them up with the Zoom on rotary polisher sponges with Minzerna compounds. We added MSM Creation Ferrari badges, and we used a Pro Scale Paint ceramic coating over the top to give it that beautiful shine. And like I say, very happy with this one. I think the colour combinations look great. It's a beautiful Ferrari as well. It really is a stunning, stunning car. And yeah, a lovely result. One of my favourite models I've built. And I think that engine bay looks great through that back window as well. And I love that slotted window as well. I think it's a real nice touch. So yeah, this is one of the potential releases for Alpha. They were taking votes on it a few weeks back. And I have said this is a potential re-release. So you might see this in the future. I hope they do, because it is a lovely kit to build. and I did thoroughly enjoy this one. So there we go. There's another build off the bench. I think it's build number 19 or 20 of the year so far, so not bad. And I really do enjoy these alpha models. I know a lot of people say they're overpriced. I kind of disagree. I find them good fun, are very niche subjects, and I always enjoy building them. They're a very satisfactory build. So there we go. There's another build off the bench. If I can, and it's a nice day tomorrow, I might take it outside and get some pictures or some video outside, because somebody did request that in the build. So you might see me go outside in a minute, or it might cut back to me. There we go, all done. Probably what, about a week's work in that one? Not bad at all. It's an older Alpha Model kit. It's a 2020 kit, and it's really weird. So I originally picked up the 488 Pista to go back to it. If you remember that one, I had a nightmare with the paint. I had 3 screw-ups a couple of years back on that and ended up painting 3 different colours. Well, I picked that up to start again. And got it all painted again in Pro Scale. Rosso. It's up on my shelf there, 2 seconds. Ferrari Rosso. Which one was it? Scuderia. The lighter orangey red Ferrari colour. So I painted it all up, and it came to the carbon. That 488 doesn't have pre-cut carbon in it, even though I think it's a newer kit than this one, which is crazy. Suddenly, Alpha Models announced a potential re-release of either the 488 Pista, the Ferrari Lusso, the 458, and a few other kits as well. And I thought, I wonder if you're going to release the Pista with the pre-cut carbon like all the new kits are. So I thought, I'll put it back in the box. I'll contact Alpha because they do have a contact over there, and I'll come back to it. They have. They're not going to. It's going to be a re-release, so it is what it is. I thought, right, okay, we'll build this. And although it's an older kit, no real issues with it, really. It all went together really well. It's a really good looking car. The resin's not as clean as some of the newer kits. It needs a lot of cleanup. And even when I'd finished painting, there was still a few areas I was like, I wish I got a bit harder there. Just not as clean a resin as always. But overall, a great kit. The pre-cut carbon's always a welcome addition. The only kind of problem I have is the Bimmen. Excuse them. The only kind of problem I had was when the wheels were pushed home into the hubs, is they sat inboard in the car a little bit too much. So the way I rectified what that was, I Norway glued them in with some CA glue, is I put them in with the CA glue, pushed it in, and just pulled them back out until they were sat where I wanted them. I just held it there. Really simple fix. You could put a shim inside the hub to do that as well. For me, that was the easiest way. That way I can make sure the wheels were true, the car was sat level, and yeah, great looking car, absolutely beautiful looking thing, and it's a complete boom wagon. And like I say, went together no problem. The colour, the exterior colour is beautiful, wheel colour stunning. The interior, really nice interior. The floor mats, I love getting the P floor mats, they're always a good addition. And that engine looks great through that back window on the engine bay. I love that back window with the slots in as well. I think it's a nice touch. Turn metal exhaust in there as well, another nice touch. And just overall, a really, really enjoyable car to build. I've been really enjoying these Alpha Model kits lately. I've always enjoyed them. As you can see, they now sit there. They're all there. Most of my Alpha Models are there. They're all the Pro Scale Alpha Models. There's a few more over there that I don't want to display, but I'm going to revisit at a later date. I really enjoy these. I know they're not cheap kits. I know they're expensive. They're quite a niche market, but they just do subject matter nobody else does. I mean, the GT3 RS Porsche we're finally getting from Tamiya. Looking at the kit, while it's going to be good for the money, I don't think it's going to beat that Alpha Models Porsche. I built the PZY and the Alpha Models 911 GT3 RS, and the Alpha Models one is phenomenal to build. But the subject matter they do makes them worthwhile. And I've got another like 19 in the stash of alpha models. And I always look forward to building them because they're just enjoyable. I've got the Eurus on the go at the minute, which is coming along well. So you're going to see that soon too. And just great subjects. I know they're not everybody's cup of tea. It's just one of those things. But yeah, another one off the bench. I think we're approaching like number 20 of the year already. So not too bad. And yeah, there we go. So next build you're going to see off me is going to be the Tributo Supra Mark IV Supra with the Zoom on Trans kit, which I've done for my birthday buddy build, which is any Supra. I painted that in a chroma flare paint, which looks absolutely amazing. If you want to keep up to date on my social media, go to my Facebook page, Pro Scale Models. It's linked down below. You literally get a day-by-day update of what's going on. It can be links from Pro Scale, offers, new products. It can be what I've been buying, what I've been building, starting, finishing. It's literally up to the moment. If you're watching this on ISM, you're like 3 months behind on my builds. Because my patrons get early release and everything. And the other way to keep up to date is a simple pimp of my patron. You get 3 months early access on all the videos. There's exclusive videos on there. You get a bench update every single Sunday. There's a Facebook supporter group that's totally private just for patrons. Share your work, purchases. I go through that every Sunday on the bench update and have a look at everyone's work. There's a Facebook Messenger chat group. Nice little community we've got there, about 80 people now, all over the world, chatting throughout the day and night. You can get 10% off of Pro Scale paints. And you keep being able to do this. Without your support, I couldn't do this. It's just me and Hannah here. I do this for a living. Hannah does Pro Scale. Hannah's out there working. You can see her there in the Pro Scale shed. So, you know, this is my thing. That's Hannah's. And they both kind of support and pimp each other. So it's a good thing. But without the patrons, I couldn't keep doing this. You certainly won't get many videos. You probably barely get any, to be honest. So you can come and join. You can leave at any time. There's no problems at all. And if you want to make a one-off donation, there's links down below for Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. There's also links down below for everything associated with me, from the forum, Facebook page, Pro Scale Paints. Oh, what else is there? The Zoom Hangout. You can come and join and hang out with us and have a chat and a laugh by webcam. There's an email address to get in touch with me. There's all the products I use, which needs updating. My stash is on there from Scalemates as well. So you can go over there and have a look. Sorry about the waffle. Just every now and then I like to pimp everything as good as I can. All this is important to me. Patron's important to me. Pro Scale is important. It feeds and takes care of my family. So it's a very important thing I'm very passionate about. But I hope you enjoyed that build. After the Supra, I've got the Lamborghini Urus on the way. And after the Urus, I will be starting this. We've got the Bandits Firebird there as well, which is a kit I wanted to do for quite a while. I've got the proper colour match paints. So that'll be another one on the way very soon as well. If you're watching, make sure to leave a comment, give the video a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that bell notifications to get notified of the latest videos. Like I say, leave a comment. Love reading all your comments, just don't always get around to answer them all. I do apologise, it's just so time consuming. Yeah, I do appreciate everyone that takes time to watch the videos and leave a comment. Have a good day, everyone. Take care, and as always, a huge thanks to all my patrons whose names are going to flash up right at the end of this video. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.